I have started the recording. Uh, Please confirm if my screen is visible. Are you able to see my screen? Someone confirm yes, no? Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sudhir. So yesterday we have just started about what? We have just started about how to write a first Java program. And we have also discussed about the Java keywords, right? So what is Java? We have discussed about what is Java. So we know what is Java. So we had, uh, we have understood Java from the first. Let me allow people in. Okay. We have understood Java first from the first Java program. And also we have understood about Java keywords also we have understood. Totally there are how many keywords? There are 51 keywords or reserved words in Java. Okay. So you cannot use these reserved words as the variable names or as the identifiers because it is already reserved by the Java people. So you're not supposed to use that. You cannot duplicate that, right? And also we have discussed about just a briefing about what is a class. We have already discussed about this class many number of times. So we have added the discussion about what is a class and what is the public access modifier. So public access modifier talks about the visibility, right? You talk about the visibility. So when you have multiple classes, if you declare one class with the public access modifier, that class is visible to all other classes. Indirectly, you are saying that that class is accessible, easily accessible, right? And also you have some more access modifiers like private and default. So you cannot write it as default. If you do not write any access modifier, that will be treated as default. Okay, and you have protected. We will be seeing everything in detail, right? And these access modifier are one of the reserved words, right? And we have also understood about what is the purpose of static. Okay, just a brief understanding. So we haven't deep dive into it, right? We are going to do that in some time. And also we have understood about void keyword, right? So this void keyword is a placeholder for what? Return type. So when you're not declaring any return type, so you use void. Okay, again, what is this return type? What is its purpose? We will see everything in detail, right? And this is how the first Java program looks like. And also, I mean, we have discussed about the main method. You cannot change this. Okay, the signature has to be changed, but you can change what? You can interchange the static and public, right? Instead of public static void main, you can give it like static public void main. Correct, right? And these argument names can be anything, guys. Okay, in the textbook you always see it like ox. Okay, it's not supposed to be ox, it can be anything. You can write anything. Anything means you can write Balaji also, you can write any name also, but that should be meaningful. But apart from this one, apart from these two things, everything has to be same. Void should be void, and name of the method should be name main itself, and also it should be string array ox. Okay? So this is how you are going to use what? Public static void main. Okay? Today we are going to discuss about the compilation part. Class 21, isn't it? Compilation part. Actually, we forgot to discuss one more thing. We have to discuss about the system.out.println. What does it really do? How Java is, how the main thread is recognizing this. For example, let us say that I have the same Java code, same piece of Java code. What is it? Let me write it really quick. So public class first app, right? Public static void string array aux. Main method, the prototype of the main method should be as it is. You cannot write whatever you want. It has to be like this, right? And inside this there is one instruction. You have placed one instruction, system.out.println, and something like you want to display something like hello, right? You know that when you write this statement, this is going to display hello in the console. You know that. Okay, how the main thread is going to recognize the statement? See guys, usually what happens, in the in the Java programming language, there are compiler. If programmer is forgetting something, compiler will add those things. So they are called as what? Default things. For example, in this example, right, you give this piece of code to the compiler. Okay, this has code has been written by you. You give this piece of code to the compiler, right? Compiler will check each and every line and each and every keyword it will check, right? Okay, after checking all this, it will, the moment it tries to check this instruction, the moment it tries to check this piece of line, okay, it will be like, hey, what is this line? I'm not able to recognize this. What is this line means, really means? You are saying this term, you are saying out, you are saying println. I know the combination of system dot out dot println is going to display something in the console. We know that. Okay, how the compiler is going to interpret this? How the compiler is going to recognize this? Okay, so what compiler usually does is, if you are not including, okay, it is going to import a default package. Default package in the sense, right? Whether you write or whether you don't write, compiler will add one statement. Okay, if you're not specifying package, no issues. Package declaration is an optional. Apart from that, if you write or if you don't write, compiler will write, hey, this programmer is very lazy. He has forgotten to write what? He has forgotten to import a java.lang package. Java.lang.star. Okay, this is the default. Why did I specify this in red? We have forgotten to include this statement. Compiler will do it for you. Compiler will have some set of jobs. What set of jobs? It will recognize the programmer is lazy to do something. Those lazy things I will take care. What are the one of the lazy things? Adding this import statement. Okay, even though if you add this, if you don't add this, compiler will add this. If you're adding it, compiler will be very happy. Okay, the programmer is very active, he has added this. If you're not including this, compiler will include this. Okay, compiler will include this. Why it is including this? The system.out.println is a functionality that is defined in this particular package, lang package. So there is a package behind the Java software. Inside the Java software, there is a package called a lang package, very big package. Okay, it has many functionalities. Okay, and the system.out.println is one of the functionalities inside this lang package. If you try to invoke system.out.println, the compiler will directly go inside the lang package, right, and it is going to execute that particular functionality. What is that functionality? System.out.println. There is a class called system class inside this package. There is a variable called out variable. Combination of these three things is going to give you something. What is that something? Displaying the text data in the console. Okay, where is the logic? Where is this logic? This logic is not written by you. So where it was written? Actually inside this lang package. Okay, this lang package is identified by using this import statement. This import statement is included by the compiler by default. You add also, you are not adding, compilation will be successful. If you're adding also, compilation will be successful because these things will be taken care by the compiler. If you're not adding, compiler will add this. If you're adding, compiler will be very happy, no issues, right? But this functionality is available inside this package called the lang package. Okay, compiler will directly go inside the lang package and it will execute that this functionality which is available here. What the functionality says, whatever the content is being written by the programmer, just display that in the console. Whatever the content is written over here, just display it in the console. Are you able to follow? Now what we have understood now? We have understood that there are some packages that is available for the programmer by default. Okay, and there are some things that will be activated by the compiler by default. What are they? This is one of that something. Able to understand? Yes, no? Yes? Are we good? Come on. Are we good so far? Everyone? Only Sudhir is answering. What about others? The job of the compiler, okay, compiler will do so many jobs, guys, because programmers are lazy sometimes. So on behalf of programmer, compiler will do this kind of things. So you don't see this, but if you're not, for example, if I ask you, hey Sudhir, is there any line that you can see in the beginning of this program? What Sudhir says, yes sir, I can see one line. What is that? Public class first tab. Not is that. That is not the answer. Okay, there is an invisible line, which is what? This one. You don't see this. Compiler will see this. Okay, able to follow? These things are called default things. Okay, good. So far, good. Now we have understood about the first Java program. Somewhat we have understood. I don't say we have understood everything. Somewhat we have understood. Because each and everything we need to go deep dive. That part I have taken care. We have understood how to write the Java first program. Now we have understood what is main method. You know how to write the main method. And all the methods should be contained inside a class. You know that also. Simple things, you know. You can execute one simple program. Let's talk about the compilation. Okay. So we have been seeing about the compilation for a long time. For the last 20 days, we have been seeing about the compilation. But that is a tiny part. Today we are going to deep dive into it. Okay. First of all, let me take the same code. I want to take the same code. Okay. So what kind? What is this code? Java code. So this is called as what? This is called as source code, right? Can I call it as source code? Yes, I can call it as source code. The first question: you can compile the Java program, but before the compilation, you need to follow some set of rules about the source code. You need to follow some set of rules and regulations behind the scenes. Okay. First thing, okay, I can write a statement like I can define a statement like, please be informed that the Java code has to be written in a text editor. Okay, since we are in learning stage, each and every piece of Java code has to be written in text editors. So what are the text editors that we know? Usually we know Notepad and we know Word, MS Word, we know things like that. Any text editor that is recognized by your operating system. This is not the rule. This is how we have to write. Okay. Now the question is rules to save the Java code. Rules to save the Java code. There are 3 rules, guys. Always remember, there are 3 rules to save the Java code. You need to follow each and every rule. Each and every rule should never get violated. Remember, if there is violation, compilation will not happen. What is a typical first rule? Okay. First rule, we know this. I have been telling you, you will have to save the Java code with what extension? With the .java extension. We know these things already. The .java, right? And this is very important. You will what? You will also need to ensure. You need to ensure something, guys. This is very important, that the code is getting saved. The code is getting saved with the class name if the access modifier is specified as public. What does it really mean? Right? See, this is our first piece of Java code, and always look for class. Okay, we have only one class. What is the access modifier of this class? Access modifier of this class is public, right? If that is the case, the file name should be same as the class name. Okay, now the follow-up question would be, sir, what if there is no access modifier? What if there is no access modifier? If there is no access modifier, trust me, you can save the code as ever you wish, as you like. You do not want to save it like first app.java. You can save it like balaji.java. It will work. You can save it like whatever you want. You can save it like experiment.java. Okay, only if the access modifier is public. Okay, when you see, okay, my class is declared with public access modifier. Okay, I need to follow the rule number 1. What is the rule number 1? You should save it as like first app.java. This is mandatory. Compulsion. Okay. What if there is no access modifier? Then this class becomes default class. When the access modifier is not at all declared, you can call this class as the default class, right? And the class is a default class. Okay, you can go with this. You can go with any name. Okay, Okay, but this is not recommended. Okay, this is not recommended. It is always recommended to use the name as the class name. Okay, where is the proof? Let me write a piece of Java code here. Now you see I am taking the classes public class first tab. Okay, I'm taking a method public void main string array box. Okay, system dot out dot println. I want to display a message like hello. Let me save this file. Save as. What is the rule? Okay, the compiler will check. Okay, the compiler will check. Is the class is declared with public access modifier? Yes, it is. The compiler will always ensure that the file name has to be what? First tab.java. So that rule we have to follow. File save as first tab.java. Okay, I'm saving this. Let me perform the compilation. Java. Okay, I'm not using package here, right? See, I'm not using any package. So the typical compilation command is very straightforward. Java C space class name dot java first dot. The compilation is getting successful. What if I violate this rule? Now let us say I want to save this as file save as, instead of first app I want to save this as second app dot java. Second app dot java. So don't you think that it is violating the rule number 1? What does the rule number 1 says? Okay, if the access modifier is specified as public, it should be always the class name, public class name. If you're breaking this rule, if you're violating this rule, what are the consequences? Okay, that we will see. Okay, now I have just saved it like what? 1 minute, where is that notepad? I want to save it as like second app dot java. It has been saved like second app dot java, and I'm trying to perform the compilation. Java C space second app dot java. What it says? Array, the class name is first app is declared with public access modifier. Okay, you should declare the save the file name as first app dot java. Why did you given second app dot java? You're able to understand. If it is public, it should always be the class name. You cannot violate that rule. Okay? If it is not public, this is the default class now. It is a default class. If it is a default class, okay, how you can what are the ways that you can save? You can save with any name, no issues. Whatever you want, you can save. I can save it like file save as what? Balaji.java, right? File save as Balaji. It is irrelevant actually. It is irrelevant. Okay, it is not recommended. But compiler will not file any complaints. Compiler is okay. Let it be whatever it is. It is not public. I do not want to take care. If it is public, I will blame you. Since it is not public, let it be. So Balaji dot. There are no issues. Right? If you see the dot class file has been generated for a dot class file will be generated for Balaji.java. Okay, Java file has been saved. Let me delete all this file. I've deleted this now, that's why it is not available. Class first tab public static void main string array of. Okay, so I'm not using any access modifier here. I can use any name. AAA.java also I can use. Okay. You see the folder, you can see it has been saved with AAA.java, but I can still perform the compilation. Okay, Java C space AAA.java. Compiler will not compile. If I do, the moment I use public, it should be the class name. If not, you can say with the any name. Okay. Now little what we call it as. So now you tell me. I have a class, public class A. Okay. I am saving this file as b.java. Is it valid or invalid? Unmute and talk. Valid or invalid? Can you unmute and speak?
Invalid.
Yes, it is completely invalid. Why invalid? Because the name of the file is public. I mean, the class is declared with public access modifier. If it is public, compiler will say, hey, it is public. Please ensure that it is a.java. Please ensure that it is a.java. Now this becomes valid. Now this is completely valid. Okay. Now let us say if I have a class B, something like this. Okay, I am saving this file as c.java. Now tell me, is this valid or invalid? Come on.
Valid. Valid.
This is also valid. Why it is valid? Because the class is default access modifier. If it is default, you can use any name. But is it recommended? It is not recommended. But compiler will be like, compiler will what? Compiler will say, okay, let it be. It's not public. I don't want to take care. Only if it is public, I will take care. So let it be like that. Compiler will feel like, but it is not recommended. I can say. Okay, now you tell me. Public class A, right? Public class B. Okay, now there are two classes. Which class I want to say? We don't know this, right? This is the second rule. We will discuss that. If we have more than one classes, what is the naming convention that we need to follow? That we are going to discuss it. Okay, remember this. Okay. So rules to save the Java code. Okay, first rule is completely fine, and I have given the justification. Okay. What I can say in this example means I am referring to this example. Okay. Okay. So I am assuming that this is public class. I'm assuming that, let us assume that this is public class. Okay. In this example, the file name has to be saved as first tab dot java as the class is declared with public access modifier. So rule number 1 is somewhat making sense now, right? Second rule. What is the second rule? If there is no access modifier, means the class is going to be what? Declared for the class. If there is no access modifier declared for the classes, then we can call that class as default class. Okay, then you can save the file with any name followed by .java extension. Okay, but it is not recommended. Okay, it is not compulsion, and also it is not a recommendation. You know what I mean? Okay? It is highly recommended to use to save the file name as the class name. Okay, we have also completed rule number 2. Okay? You can violate this rule number 2, but what I am saying is it is not recommended. Okay, now what is the rule number 3? Is there any other rule, sir? If you ask me, is there any other rule? There is one more rule that you need to keep in mind. Okay? Wait, now let me tell you something here. Okay? I have 3 classes. Class A I have, class B I have, class C I have. Okay? I have 3 classes. Okay, why we need to use this? Let us use the editor. Okay? I have class A, I have class B, I have class C. If I have more than one class in a particular file or in the particular package, if I have more than one class, if I'm working on more than one class in a particular file, okay, what is the name that what is the name that I have to choose? What is the name that I have to choose? What name can I use? Always keep in mind, first look for, is there any class that is declared with public access modifier? Is there any classes? There are no classes declared with public access modifier, right? It is satisfying the rule number 1. No matter how many classes are there, always try to identify, is there any public access modifier? There are, all the classes are default class. When all the classes are default class, okay, you can either use a.java, you can either use b.java, you can either use c.java, or you can either use d.java also, whatever you want. Where is the proof, sir? Where is the proof? Okay, let me save this file. Save as d.java. So d is not even the class name. Okay, some garbage name, some random name that I have taken. I'm taking one of the class names. Okay, that is making sense. I'm taken some random name. Okay, but is there any violation? That should be the question. Are we violating any rule? That should be the question. Java C space d.java. If we are not getting any errors, means accepted. All the 3 classes are public. First observation. Second observation is there is no public class. Sorry, all the 3 classes are default class. First observation, and there is no public class. So you can what? You can go and see a rule. It is satisfying the rule number 2. Okay. Now the moment I place public keyword to the class B, the moment I make the class B as public, or the moment I declare the class B as public, okay, now you should think about the rule number 1. What is the rule number 1? Okay, rule number 1 says always save the file name as the public class name. Okay, if this is the case, I should follow the rule. What is the rule? There is a public class. Okay, the file name must be what? b.java. File name must be what? b.java. Right? Save as. Okay. Let us say that I am not using b.java. I am not using b.java. I want to violate the rule. I want to use c.java. I want to use what? c.java. You can save that. No issues. Saving is okay. What about the compilation? You are giving this to compiler. Hey compiler, this is my file name. Please compile it. I want to execute. So compiler will say, what are you thinking about me? The class B is public, but it should be declared in the name as b.java. Why did you use c.java? You will to follow. Okay, public means if the class is declared as public, you should use that. Okay, so now how I can eliminate this error? Let me save this as b.java. Right, the moment I save this as b.java, now if I give this to the compiler, I have corrected this. Can you just check it? That says okay. All right. Able to follow. You can have any number of classes. Okay, you can also have class D. You can also have class like such classes like you can have infinite finite number of classes with like more numbers. No problem. Okay, if you find any public class, okay, use that as the class name. Okay. Now you tell me. Okay, tell me valid or invalid. Let us assume that we have only 3 classes, right? I want to test your understanding. I'm saving this as d.java. Okay, tell me valid or invalid.
Valid.
Oh, yes, correct. Why it is valid? Because all the classes are what? Default classes. Default classes means you can store with any name. Again, same one more example. Now I have 3 classes, right? And I am saving this as what? I am saving this as let me keep it as public here. Okay, I want to save this as b.java. Valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Yes, invalid. Why invalid? Because there is a class called public class. Okay, you should give what? File name as c.java, or else compiler will not be happy because you are violating rule number 1. Okay, that should not happen, right? And one more thing. Okay, now the question is, okay, so this was one of the interview question. You will believe it or not. Okay, there is a class A. There is a class B. There is a class C. All three classes are public classes. This was a question asked in one of the interviews. Okay. I'm saving this as b.java. Don't get confused. Just share your thoughts. Is it valid or invalid?
It's compilation error.
Yes. Why compilation error?
We cannot use more than one public class.
Good. Who is it? Sudhira?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sudhir. That's correct. You will definitely get compilation. I will tell you why you are getting compilation error. Okay, so this thing is the rule number 3. This thing is what? The rule number 3. Okay. So rule number 3 says, hey boss, in a file you can have any number of classes, but at most you can have only one public class. Hey boss, what you can have? You can declare at most one public class at a time in a Java file. Okay, if you are declaring more than one public class, what happens if you are declaring more than public class? You will get compilation error. Why you are getting compilation error? Why? Because so this is the internal design. This is internal design, and there is a reason for this. This reason will be understood when we talk about the execution. For now, you will get error. You get compilation error. Having said this, right? Okay, let us try to test this. Okay, I have 3 classes. Okay, I am declaring the class A as public, class B as public. Okay, I want to. I am going through these rules. I am going through these rules. I have identified the rule number 1. Okay, rule number 1 says you can save the .java with the public class name. Okay, after seeing this, I thought, okay, there are 2 public classes. Anyhow, two are public classes. Let me use a.java. Okay, I want to save this as what? A.java. Because it says rule number 1 says you have to save with the public class name. Okay, I have saved this successfully. Okay. Java C space a.java. Okay, the moment I do this, the compiler is like confused. It says it identifies B class is also public. You should be using b.java. Why did you use a.java? Okay, as per the compiler, what I am doing, I want to listen to the compiler. Because if I am not listening to the compiler will do what? It will not allow me to execute. Okay, I want to listen to the compiler. I want to save it like b.java. Okay. Replace this. Okay, now I am saving it as Java C space b.java. Now compiler says, hey, class A is public. Now why are you using B as a file name? So here the ambiguity is getting created. It's not about we are compiling the things just like that. Ambiguity is happening by the compiler. Ambiguity. Compiler is finding 2 public classes. It is not able to satisfy the rule number 1. It is not seeing it is getting violated, as well as it is also seeing that it is getting violated. It is seeing both the things at the same time. It is seeing it is not violated. It is also seeing it is getting violated. So the combination of violation and non-violation is called as what? In programmatically, you call it as what? Ambiguity. Okay, confused situation. So to avoid this, okay, you can have 100 classes in one file, but at most you can have only one public class. You can either use class A as public, you can either use class B as public. You cannot use all the classes as public. At most one public class. At most one public. Having said this, let me compile this file, save as. Okay, so I need to use what? The name of the public class name. What is it? A.java, right? Right, let me replace this. A.java, Java C space A.java. Okay, now no error is there. Compiler is very happy to execute this. Right, so now this is what? This is satisfying. You need to see the rule number 3. What? You can have at most one public class at a time in a Java file. If you are declaring more than one public class, you will get what? You will get the compilation error. Right, so now you tell me, public class A, public class B, okay, b dot java or ab dot java. Valid or invalid? Come on. This is valid. Invalid, because at most see this rule, this is violating this rule, right? At most one public class, right? Now you tell me, I'm removing this. Valid or invalid? Think and tell me.
Invalid.
Only invalid. Why? Because
Invalid.
because class B is public, it should be b dot java, not ab dot java. Okay, now I am removing this also. Valid or invalid?
Valid.
Completely valid, because both are default classes, right? Okay, now I am removing this. Okay, now I am keeping this here. Okay, now what should be the file name?
b.java.
Yeah, good, that's it. This is how you need to save the source code. Do we really want to think all about this during the application development? If you ask me that question, yes, we have to. There are some concepts like solid principles. Okay, solid principles. So by using solid principles, singularity, so many, this is an acronym. You follow these principles. When you follow these principles, you will ensure that there are only one class in a file. That class has to be a public class. When you learn Java deeply, when you learn advanced Java, these things will become more sense. Now we will be feeling like, what is this thing? Why we need to learn all these things? Not like that. The moment you start learning advanced Java, these things will make more sense. There you will, your bulb will grow. Okay, Sarah has taught us all these things. These are very important. People, Java lecturers, usually they ignore these topics. They think that these are not necessary. But these questions are asked in the interview room, right? Now I have said it somewhere here, okay? We are going to write the Java in a text editor. But in companies, usually in the companies, okay? Let me write something for you. In companies, you will use IDEs. IDE is an acronym for what? Integrated Development Environment. You might have come across these IDEs. Okay, for Java, the popular IDEs are what? Anyone know? Anyone know IDEs? Yes, no? Do you have any idea about IDEs? Okay, I will take it as no. Eclipse is one of the IDE. Okay. IntelliJ is one of the IDE. And you have NetBeans. We also have STS, Spring Toolsuite. Okay. So these IDEs are like, for example, see, you are writing the code now. Since we are in the learning stage, the code is being written in the notepad, because we are beginners now. We are beginners. We are just trying to learn Java. Only if you learn Java in the notepad, you will get to know what are the compilation errors and what are the execution errors, and you will develop an intuition. In such a way that you will understand each and everything deeply. Okay, but in companies, okay, when you start giving interviews in the companies, you start, okay, after 60 or 70 classes, we start using IDEs. There I will introduce IDEs. But in companies, you will use editors like Eclipse IDE. It is just like this, guys. If you want to wash clothes, okay, what washing machine is a typical example. If you want to wash clothes, you can do washing clothes in two ways. One is you can wash clothes with your plain hands. Completely manual. You can wash clothes by using your hands. You don't have any washing machines. What is the option? When I was living in Bangalore, we don't have washing machines. We used to wash our own clothes by our hands. It's going to consume a lot of time. Okay? But the input is what? One washed clothes, and output is washed clothes. We use water, whatever the raw materials that we need for washing clothes, we use that. But the same things can be done by using the washing machine as well, right? So washing machine will have an inlet pipe, and you have you have what, spinner, and you have the washer, and you supply water, you just add powder, everything will be taken care by the washing machine. So things are getting what? So time is getting reduced, right? So here, if you by using hands, you may take 1 hour of time, but with the washing machine only 10 minutes is enough, and You can save that time as well as you can do some other things parallelly when the things are getting when the clothes are getting washed. Okay, these IDs are just like that. Okay, you are learning the things now manually. You are just washing your clothes by hands. Okay, and the moment you start using Eclipse or these editors, this integrate IDEs, okay, they are the automated things. Okay, it will help you to create packages. It will help you to perform the compilation, execution, and add dependencies. So many things will be made easily. By what? By these ideas. That is the only difference. So we will be learning Java from the notepad only for the better understanding. Right? One more thing. After writing this piece of code, whatever the application that you're writing, after writing this piece of code, okay, this is called a source code, right? You are writing the source code, but you don't share this source code to the what? To what? To the clients. Okay, the codes that you're writing will never be shared to the client. Okay, the code that you're writing is called a source code. The source code is always secured. In the company, they ask you about the source code. You are a developer, you have access to the source code, but you don't give this source code to the clients. Okay, the code that you're writing is called as source code. First of all, remember this. Okay, and the source code would never be shared to clients. Okay, you will only share the executable file to the clients. You will only share the executable file to the clients. It is just like, for example, if you are purchasing iPhone, okay, iPhone is majorly getting manufactured in the country USA, right? It is very popular in USA. It is getting manufactured in USA, but they don't, only the people in USA who are living in USA, they don't use iPhone. I mean, everyone, okay, it is exported to each and every other country. It is exported to Asian countries, China, India, Philippines, Singapore. So many countries are getting imported, right? Are importing these iPhones. Are they importing the phones, or are they importing the? I mean, USA is exporting the phones, or they are exporting the technology? They are just exporting the phones, not the technology. They protect the technology. They don't share the technology, because if they are sharing the technology, every country can develop the phones. Technology is protected, or technology is secured. Only the phones are getting exported. Not only this, US is very good in manufacturing Boeing flights. Okay, Boeing flights. Okay, so they just export the flights, but they don't transfer the technology. Technology transfer won't happen. But countries like China, they do the reverse engineering. But usually, technology transfer will always be protected. Like that, when you are after developing the software, you don't do what? You don't share the source code. You just share the executable file. Client will never know about the source code, what kind of source code that you are writing, and what is the logic, and what is the what are the things that you are doing behind the scenes. They will never know this. What they know is, I want this requirement, please complete this. If I send this inputs, I should get this kind of output. My application should be like this. My application should not be like this. After giving the application, they say, okay, I want these changes, I want that changes, I want you to add this feature, I want to add that feature. Okay, the communication would be like that. The communication would be not like, they don't get you into the source code level. They don't understand that, first of all. Able to follow? So these are the major rules about what? This is called as source code. This is how you save the Java file. Okay, for saving file, you need to follow these 3 rules. Okay, sir. After saving file, then what? After saving file, then what? What is the next thing? Okay, next thing is what? Next thing is compilation. Next thing is compilation. One more thing. So you are writing this code, okay? And in Java, there are what? There are many versions. There are many versions, okay? To actually perform the compilation, you need to download the Java software. Java software has to be downloaded from the internet. If you ask me how many Java softwares are there in the industry, how many Java versions are there in industry, okay, now look at how many versions are there. I think it was saved in this desktop somewhere. Not here, I think downloads. Okay. Look at the versions. There are about 23 Java versions in the market. Okay, I'm asking you to download the Java software. And if you try to download the Java software, the Google will ask you which version you want to download. There are about 23 versions. So this is the latest version. Right? Java 22 that was released in 19th March, September. Last version. The next version is Java 23 is about to awaited to be released in the Java 23 is also released 17th September. I think there is something wrong with this. Okay, I think there are there are only 23 versions, so there is something wrong. Okay, forget about this. There are about 23 versions in Java. 23rd version is the latest version. I'm not sure about the release date. Okay. And if you see, there are 23 versions here. Do I want to learn all the 23 versions? If that is the question, the answer is not. You do not want to learn all the versions. Till Java 8 is enough. Okay? Because 95% of software industries are using the Java 8 version. It was released in 2014. It is an LTS version. Okay, LTS is standing for what? Long-term support. Long-term support. Okay, ever since the Java release, the first major version is 1.5 version. Okay, lot of features has been added in 1.5 version. Lot of new features were introduced in 1.5 version. The second major version is what? 1.8 version. Java 1.8. Lots of feature, and they have also introduced the functional programming concept in Java 8 version. Java has become more flexible from Java 8. Java was about to die. Okay, the moment 1.8 was introduced, the power of Java has become tripled. Till Java 7, okay, it was good, but many other programming languages were dominating Java 7. But the moment the Java 8 was introduced, Java is it is not even catchable now. It has become the most demanded programming language because of Java 1.8 version. That's why every industry people has started using Java 1.8 version. In interview, they would ask you, okay, do you know Java 8 version? How much you rate yourself with Java 8 version? If you don't know 9.1, no issues. There are simple, small features. Small features has been added in all these versions. You can learn all these things in a matter of days. But learning till 1.8 is very, very difficult. 1.8 version is what? Very interesting, as well as you need to put a lot of efforts. I'm going to teach till 1.8. If it's possible, I will teach 1.9 also. But not required. It is a waste of time, I can say. You can learn it by yourself. Okay, so if I ask you to download Java software, okay, we are going to download what? Java 1.8 version software. Now the question, or interesting question, how do I download Java software? Okay, now we have understood about what? Compilation, and we have understood about how to save the source code. We should understand compilation and execution. Before understanding this, I want you all to install the Java software, so that from today onwards we can work together. Okay, how do we install Java software? Very simple. There are some steps. Let us go step by step. Okay, step 1. Step 1. Go to Google. Java 1.8 download. Okay, just type Java 1.8 download. Okay, first thing. Just type Java 1.8 download in the Google. Right, first step 1. Okay, step 2. Okay, what is the step 2? After doing this, you will find this Java SE8 archive downloads. Right? You need to click on this. You need to click on this. Right? Let me take a screen. Second step. You will have to click on this. Click on Java SE8, archive downloads. Right? What is the step 3? After clicking on this, you will find this Oracle page. It will redirect you to the Oracle website. Right? You just need to scroll down and you will have to choose your operating system. Okay, so there are many operating systems. In Linux you have, and you have what, Solaris, and you have Mac, and you have Windows. Okay, mostly I assume everyone are using Windows operating system. If not, you can go and choose your respective operating. If you are using Mac, you can click here. If you are using what is it, Windows, you can see Windows 86. Okay, 86 means 32-bit operating system. 64 means 64-bit operating system. You need to click this one depending upon your operating system. I am using 64-bit operating system. I will be clicking on this one. Right, this is the step 3. Okay, what is the step 3? Step 3, sorry. Okay. You will have to click this. I mean, depends upon your operating system. I am assuming that you are using 64-bit operating system. Just you need to hit that. Right, after hitting this, okay, you will get a screen like this. Okay, license agreement. You need to agree to this. What is the step 4? Because I'm doing all this because there are some freshers guys. Okay, try to follow me to take screenshots of all this. Okay, not make any mistakes while downloading the software. Step 4 is what? You will get this license agreement, right? What you have to do, you just hit this. Okay, the moment you hit this, you will get one more screen. It will be redirecting you to a different screen, Oracle sign in. You will get this page. Okay, don't worry, just click on create account. You will have to click on what? You will have to click on the create account, right? So, okay, you will get this page. You will have to click on what? You will have to click on the create account. I don't think we need this. Let me keep. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and here we go for step 4. Step 4, okay, you will have to click on what? You have to click on this create account. Okay, it will ask you to enter your details. Okay, give the valid email address. You should give the valid email address, and remaining things you can give whatever you want. It's up to you, but email address should be valid. Okay, remaining things you can give your own address. It is not going to it is not about security. If you want, you can give your real names or you can give any other names, but the email address has to be valid. Okay, you will have to fill in these details and you will have to click on create account. Okay, this is for step 5. If you get locked out of this meeting room, please rejoin. A matter of 5 minutes. Okay. After filling all this, let me take the screenshot. After filling all the details, relevant details, okay, file. You will just have to do, what? You just have to click on this create account. The moment you start hitting this create account, you will start the software starts getting downloaded. The software starts getting downloaded the moment you start hitting this create account. Okay, you can see that in the download bar here, somewhere here. Okay, and inside your downloads folder, somewhere in the downloads folder, you can see an icon like this. Okay, you can see an icon. So this is the icon that you are going to see after clicking on that create account button. Okay, you will see this icon. This is the icon you will see. Step 6. It gets downloaded, and in the downloaded folder you get to see this icon. Which is the icon? This is the icon. Okay. After clicking on this icon, it will ask you to what? Perform the installation. Okay. Next. You just have to do next. By default, it is going to get installed in the C drive. Program files, a Java folder will be created. Okay, the installation gets completed. Next, and finished. Installation will be completed in this step 6. Okay. Here the problem here is you are performing two actions now. Okay, to use the Java software, you need to do what? You need to do two things. One is to download the software. Second one is to do the installation. So downloading the Java software is just like the what we call it as the washing machine example. Let me take this washing machine. I'm very fantasy about this washing machine because this example is useful to give so many real-time analogies. So washing machine. Okay. So if you're ordering the washing machine, this washing machine will be coming as a package, right? So as the delivery guy is going to deliver it in a big box, big package. Okay. So after the delivery, is he going to leave just like that? He has to perform the installation, right? So once it is delivered, can I just use the washing machine without the electricity or without the what we call it as the water inlet and outlet, without the close? Can I just use like that? I can use it anywhere? No, I cannot use it everywhere. I need to find a location in my house. Okay, I should find I should place this washing machine which is close to a switch, electric switch, and which is close to the outlet pipeline. I need to take care of so many things, right? So getting the package delivered is just like downloading the Java software. Both are same. You have just to download the Java software. Okay, till here software has been downloaded. After the downloading, you need to start performing what? The installation. Installation is like just installing the washing machine in the right place, in the right room, so that this washing machine will have the electricity access as well as the water access. Right? After the installation, you can perfectly use the washing machine. Like that, after the installation, you can perfectly use the Java programming language. But how do we perform the installation? In which folder I need to choose? In which folder I need to place? By default, it gets settled in the moment you do this next. Okay, till here it is just downloaded, guys. Till step 6, downloading is done. It is just downloaded. Yeah, thank you for joining. So what I was saying, till step 6 is downloaded. From step 7, okay, after this step you need to perform the installation. What do? You just double click this and you click on next, and the installation will be completed. Installation is completed. After the installation, you are going to see two folders. One is what? JRE. Second one is what? JDK. Okay. This JRE is an acronym for Java Runtime Environment. I'm going to explain you this JRE and JDK in detail. JRE is called as what? Java Runtime Environment. Okay. It has its own purpose, and JDK is what? Java Developing Kit. Java Developing Kit. What is JRE? JRE is what? Java Runtime Environment. Okay. Where you will find all this? Okay, you are doing next finished, right? After this, blindly go to the C drive. There will be a folder called program files, and inside that there is a folder called Java. And if you open, let me show that for you. Okay, where is my C drive? So here it is. Inside the C drive, there is a folder called program files. Inside that, you can see what? You can see a folder called Java. Okay. So here you can find two folders. One is JDK and second one is JRE. Okay. Both the folders has the different purposes. What is the JDK and what is this? Both are going to play a key role in compilation as well as execution. These both folders are going to do what? They are going to play a key role in the compilation as well as execution. Even though these are the internal things, okay, how this is going to help the Java program to communicate with the operating system. How the control is getting transferred between the operating system and the Java software. Okay, that understanding you will get once we start focusing on these two folders. These two folders. JDK is one of the folder and JRE is what? JRE is another folder. Why we need this washing machine here? Keep it here. Okay. JDK and JRE. So what you are going to do today? Step 1, go to Google. Step 2, do this. Okay. Step 2, click on this. Step 3, okay, choose your operating system. Step 4, hit on download button. After hitting on download button, okay, you get to see this page and you need to create an account. You need to give all the information. As soon as you click on create button, the download gets started. And just try to see this folder. Okay, as soon as you find this folder in the downloads folder, okay, this will be downloaded by default in the downloads folder. Okay, then you just double click it. It will direct you to do the installation. Click next, finished. After doing this, you will get to see the Java software in C, program files and Java. Right? Please ensure that you are seeing these folders. Okay? I will help you to understand what is the purpose of JDK and what is the purpose of JRE in the tomorrow's class. Okay? That's all for the today's class. In tomorrow, we are going to see what? We are going to see about the complete compilation. It is going to take 1 hour. All the internal things that you are going to see tomorrow. I'm sorry, tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow no classes. I mean, tomorrow means Monday. We'll meet on Monday, guys. That's all for the today's class. If you have any doubts, you can